so that I got it. Yeah, Mbak Tika, what class are you in right now?
Actually, I am in the advanced class.
Advanced class, speaking.
For IELTS.
Oh, IELTS, okay. Who is the tutor?
Doni.
Oh, Mas Doni, I don't know. What about Mbak Raya? Mbak Raya, what class are you in, Mbak Raya? Mbak Raya, are you there?
Still mute.
I'm in speaking professional.
Speaking professional. Oh,
Yes.
glad to see you, Mbak Raya. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get started. Yang mau masuk nanti it's okay because I did not make any waiting room. Langsung masuk aja. Okay, yeah. Once again, hi, hello. How are you, everyone? I hope that all of you are fine, healthy, and I'd like to say thank you very much for your kindness and your willingness to join in my open class in 1 Jam 1000 Mimpi. Mas Dino is my student here. Only one. Mas Dino, sorry. Okay. Today's topic is let's overcome your fear of speaking. But first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Temini Lasari. I'm the tutor for daily conversation for intermediate class. And actually, this is the first time for me joining this program. Okay. I think this is the first time for me joining the program, yeah, as a tutor. So it's such a grateful and honored for me to the organizing committee who has accepted me in this program. Thanks a million, by the way. Well, yeah, in this special occasion, we have a very special guest. Special guest. His name is Andi Tiara. Hey, Andi, how are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing well. I'm doing very great. Thank you.
Hello, Andi.
Hello. Hi.
Who is that guy? Hold on a second. I'll tell you later. Okay. We'll share about his fantastic journey and exploring the world, about his life job, and then about his experience about flying without wing. Because he's a flight attendant, he's flying everywhere, move one country to another country. It's absolutely fantastic. And then maybe for Andi, this is the first time for you to hear about 1 Jam 1000 Mimpi, Andi, ya?
It is.
Okay.
My first time, yeah.
I will share just a minute. Yeah, this is the first time. Share. Oh yeah, just a minute. Yeah, can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on screen.
It's on screen, yeah. Actually, 1 Jam 1000 Mimpi is it is non-profit organization. It's like a community. Because of this is non-profit community, but it is open for public. Everyone can join this. No requirement at all. They don't have to pay. But one thing, the most important thing is the requirement for them is they have to commit to follow the program till the end of the session. That's only the reason. And then about the background of study, background of tutors here, that most of them are LPDP awardees.
Wow.
Oh yeah, most of them are LPDP awardees. They are coming from many backgrounds. If I'm not mistaken, there is one who works in Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then international student, Singapore international student also becomes one of our tutor, and then, but most of them are LPDP awardees. They are willingly to share their knowledge, skill for free without payment. They are really sincerely intent to share their knowledge to them. Yeah, to motivate them to reach their dream actually. This is the community purpose is sharing of scholarship. They want to share the scholarship, encouraging you to know more about English, to encourage them, something like that. Yeah, this is about 1 jam 1000 mimpi. I hope then maybe if there is a next batch, you will be the tutor me. It will be great, I think.
Well, I'll be honored as well to be one of you.
Okay, guys, today when we are talking about overcome your fear of speaking, yeah, how do you overcome your fear of speaking? In my opinion, a fear of speaking appears because of many reasons, right? First is nervous, and then afraid of making a mistake, and especially when we communicate in English, which is, it's not our language, it is a foreign language. And sometimes the fear of speaking also is we are afraid of making such kind of outward silence, right? So there are many reasons, there are many way how to overcome the, what is that? The fear, yeah, the fear of your speaking. Okay. The thing that you can do is small talk. Okay. This is the last stage. This is the 7th meeting for us, and then the topic is small talk, right, Masino? And then what is this called small? Actually, small is because you talk about unimportant things in a way that fills up silence and makes you both feel more comfortable and friendly with each other. Kita small talk. So the focus is to avoid awkward silence, and then to build comfort and to become closer. Okay. Later on, I will give you an example. Andy will present something, but I will give you like an epilogue. Small. Why it is small? Because the small talk is something that you said an important thing, yeah, to get closer to one another. It's incredibly important in conversation speaking, because you can build what is that, to help the partner that you are talk to is feel comfortable each other. Okay, the first one is the topic will be various. It's the first, it could be the weather. You can ask about the weather. It is the way to start a casual conversation. For example, is it a beautiful day? Will it be sunny all day? How cold is it outside? Is it going to be cold all week? Can you believe all this rain? And anything, just to initiate the conversation. Another topic would be talking about a common interest. Do you like sport? For example, where are you from? What do you like to do for fun? What kind of music do you listen to? And have you seen any good movies lately? And etc. I want to remember, yeah, especially Mas Dino, you have remembered the questions, and you have to ask the IND about the small talk. And then this is another topic. You can make a small talk in the topic of at work. For example, how is your day going? And then how is your weekend? How have you worked here long? Are you going to the office party? Do you have any fun plans for the weekend? Something like that. That's the example of having small talk. Yeah. This is the summary. For example, food. The topics are food, the day, and then universal topic. You went to London last month, didn't you? And this one is, did you hear the marine accident yesterday? I can't believe Nanggala 402 lost in Kotek. I hope it can be rescued soon. Something like that. Just a simple talk, yeah, simple topics. Okay. Yeah. And then the thing that I want to do is, oh yeah. Just a minute. Ini share-nya jauh sih. If we have to make a summary, this is how the small talk impact our conversation. The function is only find comfort and get to know someone. So if you have already finding comfort, you will avoid silence. Kita nggak mungkin, aduh stuck di mana ya, ngomong apa nih gitu kan. And then you also become friendlier to the person that you are talking to, and then you can share interests, and you become closer to the partner that you are talking with. Okay. And now let's have a small talk with Andy. let's have a small talk with Andy. First of all, I would like to introduce him to you all. His name is Andy Tiara. He is now a flight purser in Cathay Pacific Airways, and the background of study Sekolah Tinggi Pariwisata Bandung for Travel Business Management. If you have ever heard, pernah dulu sebelum namanya berubah menjadi Sekolah Tinggi Pariwisata Bandung itu namanya adalah National Hotel Institute yang dia.
Betul.
Ya,
NHI.
Yeah. Yang terkenalnya NHI yang di Bandung. And then he also the Canada Youth Exchange, British Columbia 2007, and then he worked at Qatar Pacific Airways until 2009, and now he works at Cathay Pacific Airways from 2011 up to right now, and he is now in the top positions in the cabin crew.
Hopefully.
Okay. Yeah, without further ado, Andy, please, time is yours. If you want to share something, I do give it time for you. Just a minute. Yeah, maybe you want to share your experience, your fantastic journey or something like that. Time is yours.
Great. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Well, good afternoon in here and good afternoon in Cirebon as well. My name is Andy. I'm a flight purser with Cathay Pacific Airways. To be frankly, I have to start my story regarding me and Temi. It was long way back then. I think it was like 20 years ago. We started meeting in one of these English course called Intensive English Course in Cirebon. And I had a chance to meet your fantastic tutor in here.
Wow.
She really was one of the brightest students as well in the class. So we had that kind of a very fantastic moment in studying or learning English in general.
Yeah.
So after that, I believe we've been friends since through. And that's the turning point of us, the way how we really like English as one of the communication tools or weapons that we carry up till now as well. Let's share about my journey. It started in the year of 2006, actually. No, the real journey started when I was in junior high school. Of course, like everybody has an ambition in here. If I may ask you, like, what was your ambition when you were a child? Probably your answer would be, oh, I would like to be a doctor, I would like to be a nurse, I would like to be a lawyer, and many different things. But for me personally, I think since I was in junior high school, what I really want was to be an ambassador. So anybody knows what ambassador is, right?
Yeah.
So I really want to be an ambassador because I would love to travel around the world. It's a very simple reason, I guess, for each and every one of you. I want to travel around the world, looking at beautiful scenery here and there, and being able to travel around is just one of the most fantastic moments. So that's a very simple dream. talking about my dream, it is related as well with Satu Jam Seribu Mimpi, I guess. I guess
Yeah.
each and everyone needs to start from a very teeny tiny little dream. Sometimes you don't realize it's your dream, but it's just part of your life. You really think about it. You really want to achieve it. You don't realize how to do it at the beginning, but at the same time, you try to do it again and again. And that's what we call as a passion. A lot of people are confused actually when they ask us for the first time, what was your ambitions? What is your ultimate ambition? And then we started thinking, oh, what am I good at? What am I going to do if I have already graduated? What am I going to do if I've already finished my English course? Am I going to be a better person? Am I going to be improving my English skills? So that kind of questions would be very confusing for the first timer. I think to start my journey, again, way back in the year of 2006, after finishing my study in Sekolah Tinggi Pariwisata Bandung, I had a chance to go abroad. So I visited Canada, British Columbia. I had a chance to study there. I had a chance to be able to be one of the world citizens representing Indonesia. What I did there was actually introducing about how the way Muslim works, the way Muslim do their daily activities, because it's part of the cultural exchange as well between Indonesia and Canada. In the year of 2007, I came back to Indonesia. I realized that that international exposure really gives me a platform to be able to be another citizen of the world. And I pursue my dream to be a flight attendant, first in Qatar Airways, and then continuing my journey in Cathay Pacific Airways. Now, the question for you, and sometimes for me as well, have you had any confident problem? So maybe the question is for Raya, for Tika, and also for Mas. Have you had any confident problem before?
Yes.
Yes, and like how did you overcome it for the first time? Everybody has the first time in their life, right?
Yeah, it's actually from the my environment courage actually to push me out of my comfort zone. And also like it's like one time opportunity, like if I didn't take that I might regret in the future. So I have to overcome my fear, my worry, that I have to be a little confident and have faith with myself.
Oh, that's a great thing. That's a very great experience as well to share. What about you, Tika, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the others?
Maybe another have any question about flight
Yeah,
words or something, and yeah.
yeah, I think the basic problem for all of us Indonesian is we tend to be not that outspoken. We tend to be afraid. We tend to be very modest. Whenever people says like you are handsome, you are beautiful, you are pretty, and then the Indonesians always says, I'm not that pretty. Oh, I'm not that beautiful. Oh, I'm not that handsome. But actually, the things that makes a difference between us, I mean, like Indonesian and also Western or American, is whenever people praise you, whenever people compliment you, they will always say thank you for your compliment instead.
Be
So it
honest to
means like
ourselves, yeah.
exactly, and then everybody loves to be praises. Everybody loves to be complimented. What you have to do is actually replying with confidence. Oh, thank you for praising me. Thank you for complimenting me. That's one of the most important thing, I think. So let's have a look. In this opportunity, I think I'm going to give you only three things that's becomes like my official or formal weapons to conquer my fear. The first thing is you really have to know your battle. What is your battle? Your battle is your audience, your battle is your environments, your battle is your ability. These three things are actually influence the way you speak to the other people. Whenever I know that I'm going to speak in front of you, definitely I have to prepare myself because I really have to know my audience. That's why I questioned Temi a lot. I said, like, who would be my audience? How many people are going to be involved in this program? That kind of questions. So it gives me sort of like a brief explanations on how I'm going to conquer my audience. And second of all, you really have to know your ability as well. If you feel like you are scared, because most of the time you don't have the weapons. And what is the weapon? The weapon is the language itself. You know, whenever you're studying English, it doesn't matter whether you are right, whether you are wrong, whether you are junior, whether you are senior. The most important step is to start. To start now. It's not that start later. It's not start tomorrow. It's to start now.
Yeah.
People don't really care about what you are going to say or how bad your grammatical orders are. But people are going to care because you are trying. And trying is one of the stepping stone that you must possess. You must have the eagerness to start. You must have the power to force yourself to actually uh, being able to defeat your own fear. And how to do that? Start. That's why I always encourage people to question me instead I give the presentations to them. And this is your moment actually to question me.
To ask you, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Loni. Yeah, for every one of you, all of you. The first thing that we have to do, don't you ever afraid to make a mistake. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. My heartbeat maksudnya, bukan suaranya. Kedengeran nggak jantungnya berdegup kencang? That's what is that? Yang penting berani aja. Don't you ever make a mistake. That's the common problem actually in Indonesian student. Yeah, we are stuck on the grammatical orders actually. Yeah, that's
Let's just share another experience. I just read from one of the journals from Oxford University, and you know exactly like how prestigious Oxford is. So in one of the studies, they say like the tutors never say to the students that they failed one subject. Never. They always say not yet instead. So what is the power of not yet? For the students who are still learning, it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of bravery, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of conscience to be able to actually grasp all of the lessons. So the appreciation given by the teachers or the tutors can be the word not yet if they're not going to the right direction yet. Let's say in Indonesia, whenever I got the bad report when I was in junior high school, it was always marked with red pen, right? People says like angka merah, and then it's like, it's a very bad experience for everyone if someone has like a red pen on it, and they're going to say, "Oh, I failed." In a way, it is, but to take a look at the brighter side, it's not a failure. It is the word not yet. You are not there yet. It's not about being failed. It's all about the waiting success that you must do an extra work to be able to reach to that point. So I think for the tutor, this is just a general example, the way that makes it the difference between our educational system and also overseas. I think a lot of motivation and encouragement are given by the tutors or by the teachers instead, and they don't really pay attention much to the marking system because they know even one lame student can actually be an advanced one if they are being guided with a very great tutor or teachers.
Okay.
So So in this case, for you guys, like for example, you're still shy, you're still not confident enough to speak in front of the public. It's not your fault because your environments, your cultural background, your family background influence the whole process, the whole system. Do not have low self-esteem yet until you try. So what we can do is we need to motivate each other, especially like the students who comes from a very way kind of a weak background. So those who have like a stronger background, you have to be a lifter for the other people as well. Because by doing so, you are not only helping them, but you're also helping yourself in a way that people will appreciate more.
Okay, cool. What about
Actually,
Nada?
Andy,
Yeah.
that reminds me that I'm a researcher, and somehow that sometimes I have to like present result or something that information that we got in our country to the foreign professor or foreign researcher also.
Right.
But somehow that, like I feel like a little confidence to present the information because of I feel like I lack in English. I mean that I fear that the audience might not be understand with what I am saying. So I feel like it's it's not sometimes, actually it's often that I suddenly blank and I don't know what to say. Even I don't know what to start. So
Right.
I felt very bad actually at that time.
I tell you the honest truth. Everybody has that.
The untold story.
Exactly. Everybody has that moment.
Yeah.
It is absolutely super duper normal. Even for the most professional speakers in the world, there's always a glitch. What is the glitch? There is a period where they don't really feel confident with themselves. So what they do is actually you have to know what you are going to face. I told you right in the beginning as well. When we were very junior, sometimes we really look up to the seniors, and we feel like so afraid that the senior is going to bad talking about us behind, our closed doors and things like that.
Exactly.
But actually, it's just like our mindset. We really have to change our mindset. Remember, there's no such thing as failure. The only thing is the word not yet. You're not there yet. It's not about being failed. The problem is not about appreciating the result only, but you really have to put like a respect for yourself in a process that you are taking. For example, if you have already learned English like for about 20 hours, and then you compete with someone who has already learned English for 100 hours, it's not an apple to apple competition. It's not an apple to apple comparisons at the same time as well. So to be able to be in that 100 hours point, what you have to do, adding yourself with 80 hours, and hopefully before 80 hours as well, you can reach to that point. But I mean, you really have to give yourself as well a tap on the shoulder on every progress that you have already made. We cannot be a fluent English speaker for one night. We cannot be a fluent English speaker over a week.
Yeah.
And at the same time as well, it is a process. It is an ongoing process. Me, myself, I'm still learning as well. I teach new crew in Hong Kong. Can you imagine? It's like I have to face different peoples from multinationalities in the world. I teach Singaporean, uh, Malaysians, British, Americans, and I teach those people. And can you imagine? It's like English is not even my first language. Probably now, yes, but it used to be not. So what do I have to do is I really have to learn. I really have to study well, and that's my weapon. If I don't know, it's okay not to be okay sometimes. What you have to do is just ask. It's okay to actually realize that you are not that good yet until you have already learned something, and that makes you a better person. So there is no such thing as a sign of weakness when you ask someone else. There's no such thing as a sign of weakness when you don't feel like you are good enough. It's just like it's not your time yet. What you have to do is like be patient to yourself, a tap on your shoulder, appreciate every process, learn from the best, and at the same time as well, you must empty your glass. Do not make your glass full, because when your glass is full, it's hard for you to accept the water from other people, and that water is actually the knowledge. So you just have to be an open-minded. I think that's the first thing to do as well.
You have to be an open-minded. Okay. Is that answering your a question, Mbak Tika?
Of course.
Of course. What about
Thank you,
another?
Andy.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
What about others?
So you can question me anytime. I would really
Yeah.
love to hear your beautiful voices.
Hello, can I
Yeah.
ask you?
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Just
My name is Eska. Thanks for your sharing, Andy.
Oh, hello, Eska.
Yeah, for the speaking, if the I mean the speaking is very depend on the aim, the aims or the goals. Because if we wants to just to use speaking in the daily conversation, yes, maybe I feel enough confident to do it,
Right.
because I don't care about my grammar, about my pronunciation, about the other rule. But if the speaking is tend to the real test in the IELTS, it's so make me scary, because it's very different when we talk to other in the daily conversation
and a test.
compared to the IELTS speaking, because on the IELTS the examiner will correct will pay much attention to our ability, for example, the coherence, the grammatical, the lexical resources, and etc. And sometimes, when I talk to the informal situation, yes, I can deliver what's I want to speak, or my message to you, to others. But when it's when the speaking in the real test of IELTS, I feel very blank, because I have to think about the grammar. Is this correct, my grammar, or not? Yeah. So Andy, because I see you that you are very fluent to speak in English, can you share? Maybe this is the very basic question, but can you share how to start studying? No, I mean speaking in English. Can you share whether you apa sih namanya? Is this your habits from the child to speak English in your family, or
Yes.
maybe on your school, or what? Because I feel I learn English more than 10 years, but my skill is just so.
uh, uh, for sure, your English is not so. I can understand whatever you are saying. So that's a very good start. And really, it's a very great motivation that you share. It is absolutely right when you say that in a certain situations, you feel very depressed, you feel pressured, because maybe for some people, especially if you're speaking in front of the researchers, in front of the seniors, in front of the people, or the native even, that makes you feel like you are less confident actually whenever you are talking to in a very informal situations. I tell you what, the most important thing that I emphasize at the beginning is to really know your weapons. So the weapons are divided into three groups, right? Before, it's about know your audience, know your ability, and also know your environments. So what does it mean actually? We need to differentiate the way we speak in general and the way we speak in a very specific occasions. For your case, for example, if you would like to take IELTS tests, absolutely, it is a very depressing moment, even for me, even for Tammy, even for everyone else as well, who have already been in that stage. I guess it's a very kind of a nerve-wracking situations. But what you have to do is you really have to think about the environments as well. You really have to place yourself, imagine yourself in that environment first before you start taking the IELTS test. You really have to be in a silence and just try to grasp, try to think, try to position yourself that you are there in that positions already. And then it makes you slowly feel better about imagining the situations, or worst come to worst, you have already been in that silent situation, so there's nothing else worse than that. And third of all, you really have to know your ability as well. Most of the problem happens because why people don't have a very good self-confidence is because they don't know their own ability and credibility. What are the difference actually? Whenever you speak English, you can speak whatever you want, right? But in a certain occasion, in a specific situation, you must really speak English in a very good way because your audience expects you to do so, but not every audience expects you to do so. I understand what you're saying. You don't really have to say your sophisticated words to me, because for me, simple words is even better as long as we communicate in a very good way. But for your case, like in IELTS, why it is expected? Because there is a further goal for you that maybe you want to study overseas, maybe you want to apply for a job. So there's a certain rank or certain markings that you need to achieve before that. And then it's not day to day problem. Don't worry. It's only probably once in a lifetime experience. So you don't have to focus much about that. Talking to about your first questions, answering to that, yes, fortunately, I guess I have started practicing English since I was 7. My mom used to be an English teacher, so I had a pretty great environment as well, to start or to convey my message. I started very early, and then I remember when I was in junior high school, even my English teacher told me, "Oh, can you just please stop talking?" Because probably I was annoying, and then I annoyed a lot of people in my class. But actually, you just have to listen to your voice within, to the guts, we call it, to your brave instinct. What you have to do, again, start from now. There's no such thing as a right or wrong. If you need to speak in a very good way, for example, probably you have to remember it first before you start speaking. I don't like that kind of conversation because it seems to be very robotic. Whenever people start remembering their conversation, it's very robotic. Like when you say, "How are you?" and then you say, "I'm doing
Fine,
well, I'm
thank
doing
you.
fine."
And you?
Yeah, and I've never really had an experience where people share, "Oh, it's not really my day. I don't really feel good about today." It's people like a very plain answer saying that I'm really, really fine, but actually they're not fine at all. And that's really funny, because we are very robotic in answering that kind of question. So I guess if you really want to challenge yourself from a very simple question or simple a method of conversations, you can always find an alternative of answering the questions. Like for example, whenever people says like, "It's a very good weather today, isn't it?" And then you can always answer, "Yeah, it's a little bit cloudy with a chance of rain a little bit, and I feel good about it. The wind is so strong, but again, I love being outside because I can play outdoor activities and things like that." So you can always make a different variation of answer. It's not a textbook answer. I think that's the best thing about it. So if there is any clue what you have, like what you really have to do to master English, I guess just start now. Start with the people who really know you, start with the environments that comforts you, and at the same time as well, keep learning. There's no such thing as failure. So why worry?
And be confident in there.
Yeah, exactly. Be
Yeah.
confident. Be confident. There's no such thing as right or wrong.
Is
Most
that-
of the people, if they talk to me, I'm not going to say, "Oh, you have a very bad English." I wouldn't say that, or I wouldn't say like, your English is just in moderations. I wouldn't say that as well. And nobody will say that actually, to be frankly. Most of the people that I speak to, even they are British, even they are Australian, even they are Canadian, whenever I started speaking, and probably my English was not as good as them, but they always says, "Oh, I really adore the way you speak. I really like the way you talk. I really admire the way you know, influence others and things like that." So there are lots of things you can do about it.
Actually, I have a challenge for the audience.
Okay, I love challenge.
To make them more confident. Because you are a flight attendant, I have a flight attendant challenge voice officer.
Okay, wow, wow.
Okay. First of all, the challenge is like this. Okay. I hope that every one of you try this challenge. Yeah.
Flight attendant challenge. If you are an
Can you guys hear it clearly?
aspiring flight attendant,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then I have already just listen the video. first.
do with this. It's time to do the land.
Ah.
Flight attendant challenge. If you are an aspiring flight attendant, do with this. It's time to do the landing announcement. Let me do it first. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just landed at Ninoy Aquino International Airport. Cebu Pacific Air welcomes you to Manila. On behalf of your flight deck crew headed by Captain Aznar with First Officer Pimentel and the rest of the team, we thank you for choosing Cebu Pacific, your airline of choice. Now your turn.
Actually, you only have to read the blue line. Okay. You only have to read this.
Okay.
The blue line you read like Siddhartha at the first time. Okay. Do you guys understand about it?
Yes.
Okay, I will stop sharing. And then who wants to be the first? Is there anyone who wants to be the first?
Perfect. I hope to see you.
Okay, karena tidak ada, saya milih aja ya.
Come on, it's really time for you to boost your confidence. This is
Yes,
your
that's
moment.
right. But I have another weapon.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
This is
wow.
the will ya. I have already write down your name over here. Yang namanya kepilih harus mau. Harus mau.
Aduh, lihat.
Oke.
Tagih ya, Miss.
Ya, jangan takut. Oke, kita cuma 11 orang di sini, so let's have fun. Kita temukan siapakah korban pertama.
Korban.
Rahmat. Which one? Where are you, Rahmat? Mana orangnya? Menghilang.
Ah, hilang deh.
Missing. Okay.
Ada nih Ramadhani kali.
No, different. We have Rahmat and Rahmadani. Okay. It's okay. We share another one. Or is there any one of you want to be the volunteers to be the first one who tries? Mbak Raya, maybe? No. Let's force them. Oh, belum di-share screen ya? Sebentar. Sorry. Okay, a minute. Hold a second. Yeah. Speed. Mbak Rizka. Where is Mbak Rizka? Hi, Mbak Rizka. What class are you in? Hilang lagi. Ini kayaknya cara terbaik untuk membuat audiens saya bubar.
So I guess you can always ask question as well to me
Yeah.
or to Demi on how we can really improve our skills and everything.
Yeah, okay.
Again, nobody's perfect. Nobody really is an expert of English. Even
Mm.
I tell you, a lot of Americans or Canadian as well, they don't know how to spell, they don't know how to write in a good way.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. For us Indonesian, it's absolutely normal. English is our maybe third or fourth language. It's not even our primary language.
Uh-huh.
So it is absolutely fine.
Maybe you can, maybe you want to know about Andy's life job because he is a flight attendant. Maybe you want to know about what kind of test that Andy should pass to be the flight attendant or something. Another question.
Yeah.
You have?
Yep, yeah, absolutely. You can always ask me anything.
Mas Dino, you want to say something?
Ya, Hai Mas Andi, I'm Dino.
Hello, Dino.
I'm from student of intermediate daily conversation.
Great.
So I think my English still bad. So
No such thing. Your English is fine. So
I think
don't worry.
I have a weakness to language because I was born in Bekasi, and at when I was uh, 8 years old, my family and I moved to from Bekasi to Padang, and I need one years to learn and use Minang language. So I think I have apa a bad to learn language, and now I am IT engineer, and I think I still bad to programming language. Apa ya? Oh ya, are you flight attendants, and are not you you scared flying almost every day?
Right.
Because
well,
we apa we apa
What is that?
ada dengar lah gitu kan news
Like an accident, something.
flight accident gitu.
Are you
Wow,
scared
yeah.
with that? Mhm.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the question. Mangecek lah, sakete lah.
What is that? I don't understand.
That's like
Can you
like
speak in Minang?
yeah, mangecek sakete. I was a volunteer in Padang for a couple of months, joining United Nations. We built schools, houses, and also we created programs called English Goes to School and things like that in Padang. So yeah, I speak a little bit of Minangese language. Anyway, to answer your questions, it is correct. It is a very challenging situation for each and every one of us, especially during this pandemic. A lot of people are being laid off. A lot of people got fired from their job. They lose their job, they lose their main income because of these COVID things. It is absolutely correct. Like for the last 2 years, I think we are beyond normal. It is absolutely abnormal situations that we really have to communicate virtually instead of face-to-face communication. Hugging has become like the most inappropriate things that we can do so far because of the pandemic, and a lot of things has already changed our life. And that's including in our airlines business as well. Cathay Pacific is quite lucky, actually. Proudly, I have to say this is one of the best airlines in the world. Our competitors is absolutely like Singapore Airlines or Qatar Airways as well. And again, nobody else could actually escape this kind of pandemic. we had that kind of rough situations where we had to lay off some of the staffs. We had to stop some of the destination as well. Cathay Pacific used to fly to 180 destinations in the world, and nowadays it's only few destinations left because of the closed border points, because of a lot of government quarantine policy, because of passenger trust issues as well, that creates a difference in our lives. But I am thankful until this point as well. I'm still working for Cathay Pacific Airways, and a lot of my friends are being released by Cathay at the moment as well. The process is still ongoing. It's not an easy process for everyone, not only in Hong Kong, but also all over the world. So when you are in these situations, do not be so panic or worrisome. What you have to do is just like embrace that kind of situation, that you're not the only one in the world that has been in a very difficult situation, but everyone in the world has been facing the same situation, although in their own capacity, of course. So talking about fear as well, am I afraid of flying? Well, of course, sometimes as a normal human being, if there's any turbulences, if there's any certain incidents in flight, like related to passenger safety and security, absolutely, it makes me trembled. It makes me nervous. It makes me feel like, am I going or am I stepping in the right job? But that kind of fear actually fade away as I have already stepped in it. I feel like my most important priority is to save my passenger, at the same time saving myself and my crew as well. So this is the most important message that I would like to tell to each and every one of you, that flight attendants is not only responsible towards your meals, towards your beverages, but they are responsible bigger than that. Their responsibility is actually to take care safety and security of the passengers and also the crew. So in that kind of moment, I think it's time for us to realize that with this kind of difficulty, with this COVID-19, we are facing every single day, and it's still ongoing. It's not stopped yet. It's not even showing the sign of stopping yet. So I think what we have to do is we really have to be creative in terms of creating a very comforting situation in your own way. Our socialization used to be in a very deep touch and meaningful way, but sometimes it has to be virtual. And a lot of people feels like, oh, it's not really the same. Of course it's not our comfort zone, but we really have to do it. Wearing mask is not one of the option. Well, used to be not, but now there's no option for you to wear a mask everywhere. It's not about protecting you, yourself, or your family, but it's all about your environments. So I guess with that kind of situation changes, what you have to do is to be able to adapt with whatever is right and whatever is comfortable with yourself. You do not really force yourself to do something beyond that. Just make sure that you are safe enough, and also your environments or your family and friends are comfortable enough with your existence. I think that's good enough for you.
Is that
I hope that's answering your question. I know your question is about like, am I afraid of being a flight attendant? Absolutely, yeah, sometimes. But
what about what kind of test actually do you have to take to be accepted in a flight attendant?
Right.
Maybe one of them are inspiring to be the flight attendant, maybe?
Well, I hope one of you would like to be a flight attendant, because we have a lot of flight attendants with hijab as well nowadays. Like in Saudi Arabian Airlines as well, we have that flight attendants. So the chance is there. The first test, I believe it was a focus group discussion. So you really have to go through 2 processes of focus group discussion. And then the third one is debating. And then the fourth one is, and they're all sent in English, of course. It's not in Indonesian, but it really depends on which company you are into. But most of the time, it's going to be in English. And then the fourth one is aptitude test, or we call it as like English test. in a computer. And the fifth one is medical check. And the sixth one is the final interview test first, and then medical check, and then document test. So there are 7 tests that you
Wow.
have to go through. Yeah.
What kind of topic that you had when you were going to focus group discussion or debating?
Right. That's a very good question. The first focus group discussion, the panelists was actually asking us how to improve the service in the airlines industry. If you could be a top CEO, if you could be the owner of an airlines, what else would you like to improve in your airlines? That's the first focus group discussions. And move on to the debating. Debating topic is really funny because it's all about smoking inside and outside. I mean, smoking outdoors and indoors. And then I think, with a group of smoking outdoors. Luckily, if it is smoking indoors, then I'll be dead. But actually, yeah, that was the debating topics. And move on to interview. I think the interview process took me for about 20 minutes. The interviewer questioned me more about problem solving, involving about what are the challenging situations that you have already faced, or the way you want to solve the problems, if there's any problem like this or like that. So it's more about problem solving skills, I guess.
So from the problem solving problems that I really interested to know if you had ever like 3 worst experience during your flight, and what did you do to solve the problems?
I think I have thousands of challenging situations in my life. 3 of them is really easy. I think first is, three. Yeah, one of the most challenging situation is about passenger safety, of course. Passenger safety is our main priority. So if there is any problem, if there is a passenger who got heart attack, for example, in flights, what I have to do is absolutely, I have to keep calm. I have to get the knowledge as well, how to be a doctor, a very brief doctor. And then I really have to know as well on how to pamper other passengers. And at the same time as well, I have to pamper other crew and pamper myself, because it's not easy as well to keep yourself calm in that kind of situation.
In a panic situation like that.
Yeah, it's very panicky. It's not an easy situation for us flight attendant. I think that's the most terrifying experience I've ever faced in my life. And the other 2 probably is about the way we communicate. Sometimes people comes from different background, different nationalities. Can you imagine when Russian people speak English?
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't articulate really well. I don't understand. Like one time I remember they really want to have spaghetti, for example, and they're talking is like noodles. And then I said, okay, noodles, but what kind of noodles? We have lots of noodles in flight, for example. And then they say, no, it's a noodles. But when I presented like the real noodles, they said, no, it's not this noodles. So that kind of, barrier or language misinformation. And third of all, I think is about understanding that basically people just want to be listened. I think listening skill is really hard, even like for the most professional listeners in the world as well. Listening is really hard. It takes a lot of efforts to listen to people. Speaking is probably easier than listening, because when you listen, you get 2 things. First, you get knowledge, and second, you get patience. So I think that makes a difference between a speaker and a listener. But I do not encourage you to be a silent listener. I want you to be an active listener. And how to be an active listener? By asking. It means you understand what I'm saying.
Okay. What about the rest? Can you open your camera? Mbak Vera, I want to see your face. Mbak Eska. Which one? Yeah, thank you very much. Who is that guy over there? Mas siapa ini? What's your name? Mas Oh, your name is Ristianto. What should I call you?
Aris.
Oh, Mas Aris. From what class are you in, Mas Aris?
In and one, I think.
Advanced one.
Wow.
Okay. Well, great. For daily conversation or IELTS?
IELTS.
Oh, IELTS. Okay. I believe that the one who takes IELTS is has dreams to go overseas or abroad or something like that. Yeah. Do you wanna ask to Andy?
Yeah, I want to ask Andy, for your story, you taught to us that you start in 7 years old to speak English. So it's I think a good milestone to start learning English. But some people start learning English when he or she was maybe in high school or university or above the maybe 30 years old or above. So what is your tips to was to encourage the people
Correct.
to get good English, at least maybe can speak friendly. That's the first question. And the second question, uh, you work in a hospitality environment, so it means that you maybe work in weekend, in Saturday or in Sunday. So
Sometimes
how you,
holidays.
yeah, how you spend your leisure time in weekday to maybe to release your stress, maybe
Right.
something like that. Okay, thank you.
So I will answer your second question first. It's really interesting because it's Ramadan, and I am so thankful that I can spend my whole fasting month or Ramadan month in Hong Kong as well, and I'm able to do fasting as well every single day in Hong Kong. Of course, I miss Indonesia, but to answer your questions, what do I do uh, during my leisure time? Absolutely, I play badminton, I do yoga, and then I, go along with my friends as well to the coffee shops or just going to cinema, watching movies. Netflix is one of my best friends nowadays. I guess, yeah, we're all having the same common activities as well. Um, to answer your first questions, actually, you have to remember this is the most important thing. You have to remember there is no such thing as limit. There's no such thing as failure. What I have already emphasized at the beginning is the word not yet. Some people get married, like to be frankly, in a year of 20. Some people gets married in a year of 30, and some people maybe they don't get married at all. But or maybe they get married really later at the age of 50. So there's no time limit for everything. That's including of learning English as well. Whenever you want to start, I started early at 7. Probably you started at the age of 25. But it doesn't mean that you cannot catch what I have already gone through. It's just all about the timing. First, there is no such thing as failure, I told you. The one who fails is the one who never tries. The one who fails is the one who has lack bravery. The one who fails is the one who always close their minds or narrow their minds for a betterment. So what you have to do now is just go along the process. You don't have to worry, oh, I feel I'm so late at, starting or practicing my English. There's no such thing as that. The one that is totally late is the one who never starts. The one who is totally late is the one who never tries. That's the only thing I can share to you. Probably some other people, like Tammy, probably started even later than me, but she's, even way better than me.
No,
You know,
you
in
are
some
better than
no,
me.
no, I mean, in some terms, you're better than me. And then she became a tutor nowadays. Or some other people who started like probably later at the age of 30, probably now they can be a good writer, an English writer, because probably they really focus on it. So I think, to be frankly, if I have to give you a tips, what you have to do is like really focus on your goal, on really what you really want to achieve in your life, on what is your target. If you don't achieve your target, it's okay. It's just a target. There's always another year to try. There's always another day to try. There's always another hour to start. So don't be disappointed with yourself. Give yourself a break. At the same time as well, look up yourself and give yourself a tap and a shoulder for every progress that you have already made. Like for example, now, Mas Aris, you are in advanced one, so it means like you have already gone through the process.
Mhm.
Believe in the process. Believe me, probably 3 months before this, you have never imagined that you would question an Andy in a like
In
in
English.
English.
Mhm.
So it's absolutely not really uh, questionables that you have made a lot of progress in your life. And one of them is talking to me, talking to the audience in this forum. So believe in yourself in that and appreciate the process that you have already gone through. And at the same time, be with a good companion. Ask a lot of questions. If you don't understand, ask again. If you still don't understand, keep repeating your question. Doesn't matter.
Asking more and more.
Yeah,
It really doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. Some
Yeah.
people get bored because of the question. Well, sometimes I question 2, 3, 4 times, but just to get a clearer pictures. And I hope the one who answered to your question is also the one who is really open minds, so that like they have like a better opportunity in explaining what you have already gone through as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was started learning English at 7. I still remember at the first time I met you at intensive English course, Cirebon. At the time, I even didn't know what kind of English at all. I still remember.
Yeah,
I still
exactly.
remember that time. If you guys know about it, the first time I joined the course is I learned this is a book, that is a book, something like that. That's the first time I met Andy at the time. And then like an open class like this, my level, there are another student join in that room and Andy come to my room. My instructor asked Andy, Andy, do you have any? And then he speaks so fluently and then at that time, langsung Andi langsung speak so fluently at that time. And
Probably
I
I was really annoying. Sorry.
no,
Oh.
not at all. Yeah, and then it motivates me a lot. Oh, I want to be like him.
Yeah.
That's only the motivation I still remember at that time. Oh, we are in the same age. We are in the same grade at senior high school at that time, and my English so worse compared to him. But he speaks so well. I choose him to be my friend. Oh, I want to be like him, and then it really motivates me a lot. So I do believe that dreams really come true, India.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to start small. You just have to start teeny tiny little things in your life. Just imagine it. Probably before you go to bed, you remember 1 or 2 sentences or 1 or 2 words even, and then start practicing the next day and trying to remember that this is my stepping stone. This is like a very tiny bit, but it really impacts big in my whole life story.
Keep doing, never stop, even
Yeah,
just a little
yeah,
step, but
yeah,
you will be better and better.
yeah.
What about cultural gap? Have you ever experienced that things about the cultural gap because you are from Indonesia, live in Hong Kong, and then you meet Russian, and then you have to teach Singaporean, and then you have to teach British or something?
Wow, a lot. Yeah, I think my first cultural gap is when I went to Canada for student exchange. I remember, like in Indonesia, the toilet is always a wet toilet. We
Mhm. Oh,
don't
yeah.
like it's not really common to have like a dry toilet. And then you wipe like after you do your business and then you wipe it with the tissues and everything, and that's not common for us because we have bidet and everything. So the way we clean, even like a very basic thing, hygienes, for us is different. Like for Indonesians, we tend to be very moderate, like we tend to be very simple, we tend to be very concerned about kind of a personal hygienes. But for Westerners, although I feel like they are very clean in terms of keeping their houses or their toilets, but still the way they keep their personal hygiene is absolutely different than Indonesians. And I guess that's the first culture shocks that I experienced in my life. And along the way, of course, like the way we appreciate time, the way we appreciate people, the way we queue up, the way we process everyday's life is absolutely different. And I
Excuse me,
guess
what is queue up? What is that?
when you line up like to
Oh.
get something, yeah.
Oh yeah, queue.
When you
Okay.
line up,
Line
yeah,
up.
when you line up to get something in Indonesia, it's like seems to be like first come first serve basis. It's like everybody wants to,
Be the first.
exactly. It's like you want to battle even your own people, but not in here. Even
Apalagi the power mama ya.
yeah, I experienced when I went to supermarkets as well. I think it was in Australia. I remember like there was like this old lady. I think she came behind me, of course, and then even the guy who saw him, she said like, "Would you like to go first, ma'am?" Can you imagine? Like for Indonesian, I've never experienced anything like that. Someone who is old, someone who is considered as elderly person, they get the priority in certain way. And absolutely, as a human being, you feel much appreciated. At least you don't have to see me as old people. You just see me as a human being, that I'm fragile, so I deserve to be the first. Although she didn't ask for it, but actually the gentleman in front of me really like pay respect to her by asking her to go in the front line. So I think that's one of the best thing to be part of the citizen of the world. You really have to see anything different rather than your cultures. Again, I have to be frankly, when I go back to Indonesia, there's always the culture shock for me as well. Because I've been living in Hong Kong for the last 11 years. So yeah, I started my journey in 2010, 2011. So it's been 10 to 11 years. When I come back to Indonesia, there's always a certain point that I feel like, oh, it should have been better. Well, it could have been better actually, but unfortunately, I really have to face it. That's why I remember when my mom was still alive, she told me like, you really have to lower down your expectations, otherwise you will be very stressful. And I said like, it's fully understandable. But other than that, like, I guess everything has to be started from every individual. You really have to be a better person for yourself first before for others. You really have to appreciate you. Why? I mean, like God created you because you are special, because you are you, because each and everyone has a very different purpose in life, and that makes a better special you, I guess.
Andy, I want to ask something that since you said that you had stayed in Hong Kong for 11 years, did you? I mean that did you have a hard time to find or something like problematic like housing in Hong Kong? Because I watch a YouTube channel about the housing in Hong Kong. It's a very like it's I mean that it's pretty complicated, or they had a problem with the housing. How did you manage to find like a proper or like comfy house in the Hong Kong for the 11 years?
Right. Hong Kong is one of the most expensive country to live in the world. I think it has been with Forbes as well. Just to give you a little bit of explanation, the range of 2-bedroom apartment in here is about 40 to 50 million a month. Yeah.
40 million a month.
40 to 50 a month. Yeah. So to give you that brief explanation on how expensive housing in Hong Kong is. I am quite fortunate, I think, because my company is really generous. Otherwise, probably I wouldn't be here until now. Yeah, I would say Cathay Pacific is one of the best companies to work with in the world. they give us a lot of benefits, and one of them is the housing itself. I know even like for CNN or BBC, they have already showcased on how the livelihood in Hong Kong is. Especially, it's very tough after the pandemic as well. That most of the people, they lose their job while at the same time they have to pay their rent. And my area is quite nice area, I would say. That's why it's pretty expensive. But there are some other areas as well. They're way cheaper. But again, luckily I don't really have a problem finding an apartment. Most of the Hong Kong, for your information, is like most of the Hong Kong people live in apartments actually. They don't live in a house like in Indonesia. If you have like 3 bedroom houses, probably you are one of the richest person in Hong Kong.
Because
Like
it's
probably
expensive there, yeah.
yeah, probably only Cho Yun Fa or Andy Lau who can really live in that kind of beautiful houses in Hong Kong. It's a multi-millions US dollar house. So it's not cheap. Even like 2 bedroom apartment in Hong Kong, if you would like to buy, I think that would cost you around 6 billion Indonesian rupiah.
Wow,
Yeah.
great.
So it's
You want to
in
live
my
in Hong Kong, but
No, I know it's a very expensive. I think it's similar with Singapore, right? For
yeah,
the housing.
it's in some terms it's even more expensive. Singapore foods are quite cheap. In Hong
cheaper than
Kong,
Hong Kong.
yeah, the foods, and you know, if you want to live in Singapore, I think for the livelihood, Hong Kong is still more expensive. Housing is quite the same, but for the livelihood in Singapore, if you go to street sellers or street vendors, you can always find kind of a $3 or $4, um, probably ice cream or you know, kind of a noodles. But in Hong Kong, I bet it would be very hard to find with that cheap price. It's kind of very expensive in here.
Oh, okay.
But it is what it is. I have already lived here. I cannot escape. Otherwise, I cannot eat.
So whether you want to or not, you have to live there.
Yeah, yeah. If I really want to live, I have to eat.
What
Yeah.
about Muslim community there? Is it easy for you to find like now Ramadan and then
I am thankful. There is an Indonesian Chinese or Indonesian Hong Kong Chinese Muslim association in here, so I am quite fortunate. We still have a chance to go for Friday prayer. There are some mosques there are some mosques in Hong Kong, and we can always do our kind of a Friday prayers or daily prayers as well in that. But during the pandemic, it was quite hard because we are not allowed to gather more than 12 people in here. So there's a government restrictions that restrict you to go to places, and one of them is a mosque. But luckily, for the last 2 weeks, it has been open again, so we can always do our ritual in a very fine and peace manner. For my daily activity, actually during Ramadan, I got a chance to meet my friends. We have breakfasting together, and then we cook something, and we just eat whatever we want after that. And that's the best thing. Oh, I made bubur sum sum yesterday, so I'm
by
quite
yourself?
yeah by myself. So I was
Oh,
quite
great.
satisfied. Yeah. I guess when you live in other countries, you have to be creative.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
of course ya. Ilmu kepepet itu pasti ini
Right.
sesuatu ya.
Right. How, yeah.
Oh, ini it's only 8 minutes to 5. Maybe in Hong Kong it's udah jam 6 kayaknya.
Yeah, it's a 8 minutes to 6.
8 minutes.
Almost 6. Yeah.
Almost 6. Okay. Mbak Raya, I want to hear your voice, Mbak Raya. Mbak Raya, no, Mbak siapa yang tengah itu ya? Oh, ya Mbak Raya. Mbak Raya, do you want to say something? I want to. This one.
Okay. Actually, I'm in Sorong, Papua.
Oh,
Wow.
Papua.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. I work for oil and gas company, and sometimes I meet a restaurant like American or England.
Right.
English. I mean, and sometimes if I meet expat, I more feel confident than I talk with Indonesian
Oh, good.
Yes, maybe, yeah, but I don't know why I feel under pressure with if I talk with Indonesian.
Don't worry, it's absolutely normal because I know for Indonesian especially, sometimes we tend to be very judgmental. When you speak, you're always
Oh yeah.
being judged that, oh, your English is not so good, your
Theoretically,
pronunciation is
yeah.
really bad, your grammatical order is not really nice, and things like that. I absolutely understand. I really have to share my experience when I was in junior high school. A lot of people really wanted to see me down, especially because they were not able to speak the language. So they started judging and they started, like taking you down. It is absolutely normal. What you have to do is getting away from that situation, find the environments that makes you feel comfortable, and start from there. Begin your lesson, begin your everyday life with positivity, with positive people, positive environments. Don't be afraid. If you really have to force yourself to speak English with Indonesian, well, you can always try. And remember, never underestimate yourself. Do not lower your self-esteem. You can always admit to them, you know what? I'm in a process of learning English. So if you could help me improving my skills, I would be more than happy to be your partners. I guess they would be very willing to be your partners as well. So I think it's all about communications. People judge you because we have a different approach. Like whenever someone, let's say, judge you for saying that, oh, your English is really bad, then you can always lower yourself and saying that, oh, could you please help me improving my skills? I really want to learn from you. So I think that's an invitation. It's a very open invitations, and people would be so glad to help you. Well, I would be very glad to help you, right? So don't be afraid, Matt.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. What about the others? Maybe the last
So
question, maybe?
maybe this is my questions for all of the
Yeah.
people who join.
Yes, please.
My question is, what is actually your purpose of learning English?
To whom that you want to ask?
Anyone.
Sometimes
me-
you have to choose.
May I?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Monica, yes, please.
For me, actually, for the first time, it's for sure it's for the to pursue my education. I really want to had continue degree in another country, because I feel that I need a more broad network. And also I when I was graduated from the bachelor degree in Indonesia, I'm very fortunate that I had an opportunity to work with some professor from another country, and they really taught me about how work ethics in another country. I mean that we usually had like, how to work with Indonesia people, but then another professor really give their insight how to tackle a problem, and also that I feel that I think I need to pursue my degree in another country to have another open my mind from another things. But then when I work in this in the research area, I feel more, I feel more that I need to learn English to my work, basically because I have to write the journal. I have to write a report. I have to write something that another people can easily understand what I want to deliver.
Right.
But then it's really difficult because like it's writing in the informal media with the formal, I mean that for scientific
Purpose.
purpose is a very different. So yeah, I still learn and I hope I can get better in the future.
Well, hopefully. Thank you. Thank you.
What about another?
Yeah,
What is your purpose of learning
Masino,
English?
yes, please.
sorry. I think I need to learn English because sometimes I like a music, especially West music like Bon Jovi, Aerosmith, and others. And when you listening to music, but you don't know what is meaning of the song, and apa ya, you can nggak bisa menikmati lagunya gitu, and
Oh yeah. Can
yeah,
enjoy the song.
yeah,
Right.
and my jobs, I am a IT engineer, and I need English to sometimes we need to get certified of IT skill, and all of the train and exam use English, and
Right.
I have my leader before, he said to me, when you find of tutorial, don't apa don't search tutorial with bahasa, because basically Indonesian people not good in writer.
In writing.
Writing. He suggested to me to find some tutorial about IT, about how to make something in IT, which from blogs from overseas people gitu.
Great. I hope you can find it with a lot of platforms, especially in YouTube. There are lots of platforms that you can learn about anything, and it's tutoring in English. So that's for sure will help you. Best of luck, Mas Dino.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. It can be our motivation actually. Listening to song, we want to enjoy what's the meaning, and then if it's about a romantic song, it can make us so mellow or something. So we have to know, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we have another newcomer, Mas Aprendi. One of the student teacher relation in 1 Jam 1000 Mimpi, by the way.
Oh, great.
This
Hello.
one.
Hi.
Hi everyone. Nice to see you all. Hope you all guys doing well, right? Hello, Mas.
Hello, hi. Hello, Mas Aprendi.
Nice to see you.
You are in the same alma mater, yeah? Is that?
I'm not sure. I think so.
He
You are in NI?
I graduated from NHI.
Yeah, the same with Aprendi.
Which year?
2001.
All right, from 2008.
Okay.
But my major is in pastry and bakery.
Wow, congratulations. That looks good. I saw you like in your uniform as well now, right?
Yeah, I'm still at work actually.
Oh, okay.
No, I just finished because I just finished my class, because we try to fix the time so we can get it only on Sunday actually after my work finished, but my college is they have a time on Sunday, but I don't have time on Sunday because I have my duty.
Right. Where do you teach again?
Sorry?
Where do you teach?
No,
not teach. I'm a student also.
Oh, you are a student as well.
Yes.
The same,
I thought you
The
I thought you
double job.
graduated. Wow. Okay. Because
No,
I
no,
thought
no.
you graduated already and then you started teaching. And so,
No, I'm still the student, but I just did different classes.
Right,
It's in
right.
different class, yes.
Oh, that's awesome for you. Hey.
Apprendi now is what is that? Apprendi chef. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
The chief of chef.
pastry,
Apa tuh?
pastry
Kepala
chef. No,
kepala
no,
chef.
you can say it's pastry chef. That's
Oh,
it.
pastry chef. Okay. Maybe
Okay.
do you want to say something to Andi?
Oh my God, I don't know what I have to tell about. It's just nice to be here, and then thank you for inviting me because
Well,
Mrs. Temis was my teacher when I was in vocational school.
wow.
He was my
Okay.
SPIA, so then I just invite her. That it was really pleasure to have me.
Well, yeah,
And nice
thank
to
you
see you,
for
Mas Andi. And then where are you now? What did you do?
I'm in Hong Kong. I'm a flight attendant with Cathay Pacific Airways. I am
Alright.
a trainer as well with Cathay Pacific.
So you are the flight attendant, or are you are in the ground floor?
Well, I'm a flight attendant. At the same time, I'm a trainer.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Trainer.
You know,
Yeah.
my working place before that, so we accept the crew for the flight attendant for the Qatar Airways, but I
Wow.
think you are not laying over anymore in Indonesia, right?
Not at the moment, not during this COVID-19. I think there are lots of thing changes. Yeah. Well, best of luck for you then.
Same to you. How long you been there anyway? Just my
11,
last question.
11 years.
11 years.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite longer. Yeah.
That's quite long.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's been good. It's been a good journey though.
Cool. Thank you. Maybe when I visit there, I can reach you there.
Well, yeah, please be my guest.
Maybe, inshallah.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
guys, it's
Thank you, Mas
already.
Andi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Apprendi. He is the one that introduced 1 jam 1000 mimpi to me, and he asked me, Miss Temi, I have a program, blah 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 blah. Would you want to join? Blah blah blah. At the first time, I feel it is excited, but I was super nervous at the same time because you know that I have been living the teaching for 13 years. I'm not sure whether I have a confidence enough or not. But
You're still good, Miss.
oh iya, oh kata Andi harus gini, thank you. Jangan bilang enggak kok, gitu nggak boleh gitu ya. Oke, thank you Mas Dino by the way.
Well, that's a good start.
I'm your student.
Excuse me?
Because I am your student.
Supaya dapat nilai A ya. Oh, I know.
Given I'm not your
No,
student,
no, no.
I actually want to say that also.
Okay. Wow, it's
Well, you have a very good supporting environment, Stemi.
yeah. I'm unfortunate. Kebiasaan kan bilangnya
I am
happy.
fortunate. Yeah.
I'm
I am
fortunate.
fortunate. Yeah.
I'm fortunate. Okay. Yeah, and also I'm fortunate to be here with you and all of you who are willing join this room. It's udah jam 5 lebih 5 loh ya. Maybe you want to get
Prepare
a
for iftar.
iftar dinner. Oke, but
Cari takjil dulu, Miss.
cari takjil dulu. Saya
Anak
sebagai
kosan soalnya.
dan emak-emak harus bikin gorengan terutama
gitu.
ya. But first of all, don't you mind if you open your camera? I want to take a picture before we are leaving.
Yeah.
Sure. No problem.
Where are you guys? Kemana aja nih baru nyalain? Mbak Eska, thank you. Oke. Ya, kita foto-foto dulu ya. Wah, Mbak Dita lagi I'm away katanya. 1, 2, 3. Gimana ya? Sarangnya aja deh. Oke, sebentar belum. So do you have any plan to back to Indonesia, Di?
I used to go back to I mean, like before this pandemic, of course. I used to go back to Indonesia back and forth like once in a month, but now probably once in a month.
Oh.
Yeah, used to be. My home is actually in Bandung at the moment. In Cirebon is completely empty, so it's just like a vacant house. But after this pandemic, there are lots of restrictions in each and every country, in Hong Kong, in Indonesia. So I don't have any plans to go back to Indonesia soon. And I still have my flying schedule as well. I'm flying to London next month. So yeah.
Safe and
Just
then
careful.
be careful
Well,
and be
well,
safe.
thank you
then
very
you
much.
get
Thank you. Thank
all
you
the
for
help.
all your wishes. Selamat berbuka puasa, everyone.
Selamat
Thank you
berbuka
very much
puasa.
for
Thank you very
joining
much,
this.
Okay, once again, thank you very much, Andia. I hope that your
you.
story can motivate others and to make them focus in pursuing their dreams.
Thank you very much for being the inspirations as well.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. If you want to pursue your dream, you have to get up, you have to dress up, you have to show up, and you never give up. Gitu
Trying
aja
is
sih
believing,
motonya.
Miss.
God.
Kalau mau mengejar
Today.
mimpi kan harus bangun dulu, harus pakai baju dulu. You have to dress up and then you
And-
have to. Iya. Okay, thank you very much ya.
See you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Okay.
Unafraid to
Thank
try.
you.
Okay, thank you very
Bye.
much,
Thank you.
Andy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam.
Bye.
Bye.